Whether it's cold and snowy, cool and wet, or just warm and dry, we get it all in the Carolinas in the winter months, and we're now starting to get better model data to analyze to kind of come up with a winter weather forecast for this upcoming winter. But before we do that, let's take a look back at the past 3 winters because they were very unusual. In fact, for 3 years in a row, we were in a La Nina pattern, which gave us warmer than normal temperatures and lower precipitation. Now, this winter, we are looking at more of an El Nino pattern, and not only that, but a very strong El Nino pattern, which means an active weather pattern for us and near normal temperatures. Let's take a look here at what El Nino exactly means. Basically, we've got warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the Pacific, and that changes the weather pattern here across the United States with dry and warm conditions towards the north and west and cool and wet conditions across the southeast. What I'm expecting here across the Piedmont and towards the mountainous areas, we are expecting near normal temperatures, while areas along the coast will probably have more clouds, more rain, and I think that's going to keep them slightly below normal for the winter months. As far as the precipitation outlook goes, we are looking at a pretty good chance of above normal precipitation, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have a snowy winter, although I am starting to kind of think that we are going to have quite a bit of snow in our area. But one of the patterns that I'm going to be watching, and one of the patterns that I think we're going to have more likely and more often, is the southern branch of the jet stream being very active, with our northern branch staying off towards the north and east, and that's going to give us a lot of cold rain events and maybe even some stormy conditions as well. One thing that we're going to have to watch out for is the polar vortex. Now, the polar vortex, it never moves. It always stays at the poles, and when the polar vortex is strong, so does the cold air. It stays bottled up towards the north. But it's when the polar vortex is at its weakest that it kind of gives us a wavy pattern in our jet stream, allowing for cold air to shoot south. And that's a pattern that we're going to have to watch, where our northern branch of the jet stream and the southern branch kind of phase together. And that's when we typically get our big snowstorms here in the Carolinas, and I think we're going to have a few of those that we're going to have to watch out for. So my winter weather forecast for the 2023-2024 winter, I think we're going to have many cold rain events, unfortunately, which is good for the drought, but not good for snow lovers. We're going to be watching for the storm tracks and phasing of both jets, and if they can come together, I think we're going to have 1 or 2 big snowstorms across the Piedmont Triad area. But in between, we're going to have to watch our high pressure to the north and that classic Carolina wedge or the classic Appalachian wedge, because I think we're going to have a few ice storms to watch out for as well. Overall, I think we're going to have near to above normal snowfall chances here in the Piedmont Triad area, and I'm going with the forecast of 7 to 12 inches overall for the winter months. Notice our average snowfall is 7.1, and again, I think we're going to have 1 to 2 ice systems that we're going to have to watch out for as well. And when it comes to winter weather forecasting, remember these few tips. Typically 6 to 10 days out, we watch for pattern recognition. It's always easy to look at those social media posts and get excited when you see those things from non-meteorologists. But when we get to about 4 to 5 days out, that's when we can actually look at the models and kind of see if they're coming into better agreement. And then it's 2 to 3 days out, the timing and the impact of the forecast gets a little bit better. And then 1 to 2 days out, that's when we start to fine tune that forecast and kind of put out those official snowfall totals. As we get into the upcoming winter months, make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or now X, both WXLV, ABC 45, and also Meteorologist Jonathan Weant.